Alright, we are back. Working out of Build Book 12 here. And the pack is 46 finally. We have another deck panel with the lights and windows. And we have a lighting strip, it looks like, for our port nacelle. And if you didn't see that last vid, the customer service fail, go check that out. Find out all about it. Find out my workaround for getting the correct parts. This is the old Eaglemoss. If you're like me and had to restart, you're going to wind up with the wrong parts, and Fanhome will not send you the replacements. Okay, so check out the video link on that one. Let's move ahead onward. Number 46 here. Okay. Slice this open with my Wahoo Killer. And it's a good thing I don't want any of these books in mint condition, because they're going to come to you bent and you know, smashed up, because they just kind of chunk them in there. They're not caring anything about these books, even though you're getting these binders like it's some collector thing to keep later and take up space. Back of the books do have some cool behind the scenes stuff, which is why you'd want to keep this type of thing. I mean, here we go. Riker about to fall on the mattress. So where are we at here? Stage 46, assembly. Got our deck panel. Oh, dropped it. Where did it go? Under the chair. This one is going to be an edge one, looks like, because it's plastic. You have the light reflector. This one's panel. Who cares? U3-18. They all are numbered. Okay, 3 escape pods. I'm going to go ahead and roll this stuff out. Get this stuff ready. I don't do any light blocking, and I'm sure I'll regret it later, but I'm too far into the build to try to take it apart and do that. I'm hoping maybe there's a solution for any light leaks I have later, but doubt it. I'm gonna roll these out. I don't know how many of these we're going to need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to need a bunch. Need this whole strip and then some. I'll roll a brick of these out. Dark windows. And move on to my favorite thing, putting windows in. This, I really wish the person that designed this and the Eaglemoss team, original designers, would have just given us a panel. I don't care. A panel would have been preferable for me. This allows you to customize, so I can see the appeal to that. But it's so tedious that this is putting these little windows in is super frustrating. Alright, I'm going to fast forward to 10 minutes worth of pain and pleasure here. Putting the windows in, I just go basically in the same pattern that the instruction book tells you. You can change them up, swap out your darks for your lights, and there are 3 escape pod hatches here. The lines are going to face downward toward the outer part of the saucer on the panels, the way they want you to line them. But there you go. Get our cable here. Go ahead and separate out these leads. And we've got our 2 bulbs there. They're going to slot into our light panel or our reflector panel. We're going to set this over and screw it in place. This should hold all of our lights in. I don't think it really matters which color goes to which, but they're saying yellow and white on this side, and then red on that side. And you can see these things won't really, sometimes they'll hold themselves in, but there's a little notch there that kind of fits between the 2 wires, but usually it's not tight enough to hold this in place very well. See, you may have to kind of help it down carefully, and you can kind of slide them up under after you set this in place, which I'm going to have to do because that one's falling out. So slide this back into the slot and set it in place. And that's good. That's going to be locked in, looks like. So we're going to put our 3 BP screws in place. I'm going to use my sausage finger to try to get this one in the hole first, because I'm not going to let, in case gravity reverses, I don't want to let up on this panel and have all my windows fly out before I get it locked in with the screw. Snug that one down. Again, it's going into plastic, so don't over tighten, but snug it. Second one on this. Whoa, what was that? This thing slid and I heard something. Let me hold this. Okay. Weird, I heard something hit the ground. I don't. Oh, I think it was a screw. Okay, we're good. Man, but they do give you extras. Usually get one extra in each little screw pack, because you're going to drop one into your floor. So if you have carpeting and stuff like that, it's going to be hard to find. This one here at the bottom, snugged, not over tight. Give it a checky check. Yes, sir. Those are in. You do have enough slack here. You could actually kind of spread that and pop it back in if you needed to get your light back in, but that's how that goes. Alright, I got the saucer section flipped over on a towel. We're going to be working on this side. You can do all this with it flipped upside down. That way you're not having to fiddle with it holding this panel. But take your panel upside down. We're going to feed it all the way through. The cable's gonna, pigtail's gonna slot up to the larger of that opening there. And this pigtail, you're gonna have to bend it like 90. Kinda. It just says bend it to where it's out of the way. Because we gotta sandwich this up in here. Just like that. That's slotted in pretty easy. 2 CP screws. Got one hanging on for dear life on my screwdriver. Supporting it from underside. Again, CP, it's plastic. These panel pieces are plastic on this section. So just snug them, don't overly tighten. There we go. Alright, we got our little test circuit board, our battery with my broken cable that I still have to solder back on the battery pack. But as you can see, it lights up. Onward! Okay, let me get a towel here. Get our nacelle, our properly fitted nacelle. Again, check out that $8 workaround to fix yours if you're an Eaglemoss original subscriber like me and Fanhome refuses to send you the correct fix parts. But in this kit we got to add some lights, a light strip and some bulbs. Alright, so I'm going to turn this, I'm going to orient this way. And looks like we got, oh, there's our little pigtail. Okay. Looks like this one with the white bulb, wire and bulb, and the actual pigtail lead is going to go towards the front end. And you get 2 of these with the black wire here, 2 bulbs. And we are going to actually take one And so where the wires come out, that's going to be facing down. This bulb right here is going to slot in back here. But we need to take one of these red and black wires and actually kind of loop it under this framework like that. Pull it up through, around, and back into the rabbit hole right here. And that's plastic, not really rubber. So I don't know how this is going to work out. It's supposed to slot into there. Let's see if I can make it fit. That's a big bulb. Let's just kind of force it in there, huh? That's weird. That's really weird. Because that is not like a rubber boot or nothing. It's just plastic. That's a hard plastic boot there. I can't get it to seat all the way in. I keep pushing on it. I guess that's as far in as it's going to go. And both the same size. That's dumb. Dumb design. I think that's it. I'm going to leave it like that. Alright. So this is going to lay down in here. This square bulb is going to slot in right here. Allegedly. Doesn't really hold in place, it just sits there. Okay. And then these. Well, this is a terrible design, just awful. This is an awful design. But all the electrical, all the wiring on this kit is just awful. This wire does bend, you're gonna have to bend it back. Alright, so basically I gotta get this down and I gotta hold it with 3 CP screws. So I'm gonna get those ready. And see if we can make this work. I'm gonna do the middle one first. Just right down to contact. Doesn't take much on this. That's how I'm doing that one. Now I'm gonna make sure I got this in alignment. I'm gonna push this. I'm gonna bend this wire back, this lead on this, so that can sit in that slot maybe. That's so awful. What am I missing here? What am I missing? Nothing really. It kind of looks like there's a nubbin that would fit through this hole right here, back here. It doesn't really. So I'm just going to put the screw in to hold that in place on this side. Just right down to contact. I don't want to over tighten this one. This is a pretty awful design on this part, in my opinion. It's just a hot mess of wires anywhere up in the Enterprise saucer section, so this is par for the course, I guess. I wish that would seat better. I don't know how well, I can't get a good camera angle on it. But between the, it's like you can see how you got this black boot here. I got gap right there. I may need to try to take Let me try to take these tweezers and see if I can't push it down more with some force. Yeah, it seated it a little more because it does have that little edge. You can kind of, I don't want to cut that boot, but I'm going to do a little more there. Oh, my muscle is shaking. Okay, that's better. I kind of got it seated. Maybe a pair of needle nose would work even better on that. That's better. That's seated much better. Do a little more. Okay, we're seated there. That makes me feel better. That's secured in. We got our wires hanging out. Guess we could test this. Let's do a little test on it. On this lights here. Ooh, I don't know if it'll let me with this one. Let's see if this works. Yes. Okay. So we got red. We got a blinker. That's how they do their run on it. And they're blinking really fast, but that's the way it is on the other bulbs of this nature on the ship. I don't think they should blink that fast, but... Alright, well, our lights light up. Oh, we got one more part here that I skipped from the last kit. That's what we're missing. And it's going to fit... It's this plastic piece. It's going to fit on this side. I got a feeling we're going to get one for the other side as well. What does it do? Does it just sit in there? What's going on? Take your warp engine filled grill left reflector assembly from stage 45. Position it inside your nacelle build as shown between the warp engine filled grill left and the nacelle upper frame. Okay. What the heck does that mean? Guess it's supposed to go in there like that, just sitting there. Probably get held in place by another piece, but there is kind of a notch on that blue part back there. Alright, let's test the light again. Let's see what it looks like. On that side, not so great. You see the bulb's real bad. And I think that's what this is trying to diffuse, but it's not really going to diffuse it. That's kind of what we're going to be dealing with there, I guess. Odd. Okay. Alright, and that concludes Book 12, Stage 46 assembly, whatever. And now I can't turn this piece over because that little plastic piece right here, it just sits in there and just falls out. So that's perfect. And what I like to do when I come to a conclusion of one of these build books is show you the kind of, not all of it, but show you some of the behind the scenes stuff that you get. So if you stuck around for this, that's kind of a cool shot of the ship. I remember when, you know, because I was a big TOS fan, and of course the movies were still going on with the original cast of you know, Kirk and Spock and all them. So Next Generation came out, and I was like not receptive to this design. Now I actually really like the Galaxy class starship. It grew on me. If I was gonna serve on a ship in some fantasy, this would be the one. It's so luxurious on the inside, and they actually have dolphins in there. Yeah, you can look that up, but it didn't get love in the big screen because the filming, they needed a model that was more sleek for the aspect ratio of a feature film, which is a shame. So they had old Riker hot drop the saucer section onto that planet while Picard was busy getting Kirk killed. The survivors, oh yes, this is, a classic one. This dude is, whatever happened to this dude, he's so powerful. Synopsis of this episode: an unspoilt homestead and its 2 inhabitants pose a mystery for the Enterprise crew on the otherwise devastated world. And gosh, yeah, that guy was powerful. Like, he wiped out an entire race that attacked his planet. He was a pacifist, but he's almost like a Q-like entity. So that's kind of weird. And I don't remember Riker actually falling onto a air mattress in this episode, but apparently he does. And this one, what was this? Who watches the Watchers? So they're like on this planet and trying to, what were they doing? Bronze Age society starts to worship Picard as a god. Riker, Troy, and then the captain himself make efforts to dispel their new belief. I'm about to go rewatch that one. I kind of remember it, but they look Romulan descent to me. The bonding. You got that kid and his mom dies and the entity tries to pretend like it is his mom. There's some costume designs for Worf. That's out of control. Like, you know, wear that skirt or that dress. This one, classic Geordi episode where he can't buy me love. He's up in the holodeck falling in love with the computer generated hologram of an engineer that helped design the Enterprise so they could get out of this booby trap that was set for them. Classic Geordi. The enemy. Worf and Geordi have very different experiences with the 2 Romulan survivors of a crash ship close to the neutral zone. I miss. I'm watching season 3 of Picard, and I miss Geordi's visor. I know he didn't. He also got the new bionic eyes in the movies, but I miss his visor in those. I wish they had just kept his visor. It made it unique. Ooh, yes, a Troy episode, The Price. Yeah, he was like a telepath, Betazoid, like, I think, just like her. But he's using it for like some type of trade negotiations. But there's one of her dresses. I like how, as the counselor, she could wear different type of clothing until later on they start making her wear actual uniforms. But it was cool to see like futuristic costume design in the clothing. That's kind of the behind the scenes, not every drop of it, but that's part of the allure to some of these books and why you'd want to collect them in those crappy ass binders they send you. But there we go. Post a comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. That's what we're doing right now. Boom.